Hey everybody, it's Gil here with the Sailing Vessel Dream Chaser. And as most of you who watch this channel know, for a while, our channel was primarily focused on DIY sailboat projects and sailing. With our boat still sitting in a little hurricane hole near New Orleans and us in Southwest Florida, until this lockdown of COVID and the right timing is for us to sail this thing back, we're looking for other types of DIY projects. So today we have an interesting one. When we bought this house in Florida, we let each of the girls pick out their own sort of bedroom set, if you will, right? And the little one wanted a sort of a bunk bed, a double-decker bed. Not that she wanted a bed on the bottom, she wanted it this when we found her, has this little cottage down below and the bed is up top. So you kind of walk in the front door of it and there's two little windows and she's got a little couch in there. It's like a little cottage and she can play in there and do her homework, whatever. And then the top is the bed. And this particular one has a rung ladder. So at the very foot of the bed, you climb up a rung ladder and you climb up into the bed. Works pretty well for her. When she said when it's at night, she has to get up to use the restroom or something. It's a little hairy sometimes getting down. When we tuck her in, I will tell you, as a 50-year-old man climbing up that thing, I'll go up two of the rungs or so, and then I'm like, hey, you climb to the foot of the bed, I'll give you a hug here, and then tuck her in from that end, which means throw the blanket onto her and straighten it out. When we were looking at bedroom sets, and we looked at a bunch, right, she would run into the store and kind of check out all the different ones, and she really liked this style, but what she wanted was beds that have a staircase at the end. So instead of a rung ladder, actual steps going up it. That's not the one it's not the one we got. It's not the one she ended up picking out, frankly. But here, months later, we've heard about it enough times that it would be better to have steps going up. And I thought, what would be for two reasons. I think if I build steps on this, I can make them so that it's easier for her to get in and out of it. It's easier for us to tuck her in and out of the bed, and we can create some additional storage underneath the steps with some shelves. So this particular project is going to be figuring out what that might look like, how to make it somewhat match the actual bed so it looks like it all was something that came from the manufacturer, had the same look and feel of the Cottage and the double-decker Bunk. And I don't know, put it all together and make it look decent. So don't know if this will be a one-part or two-part video, but we will get started. Let me first show you what the bed looks like today before it's altered. And then we're going to run out to the store and we're going to pick up some supplies. I rough sketched out what I think I need here. I believe I can get by with 2 sheets of plywood. I am going to get the 3/4 inch plywood. I want it to be good and heavy. And then I'm going to get 1x12s for the steps and the backing of each step. That'll give me enough to overhang each one. I'm also going to buy some 3/4 inch hardwood plank boards, probably 2-inch and 4-inch widths. Those are going to help be the supports for the tops of the shelves that will go underneath the actual steps, and it will help hold and stabilize the two sides, right? So, there's going to be 2 sets of stairs, or 2 sides to the sets of stairs, if you will. The steps and the backing of each step will certainly help the front stay tied together and square, but I'm going to need something across the back of that as well. Interestingly enough, we're also going to have to disassemble her current bed and flip the one cottage wall around the other way. Because today, if you stand on the side of the bed, you'll notice the rung stairs on the left-hand side of it, the closest to the front of the cottage. That won't really work for the stairs because we need the stairs to be low there and high on the other end. And that opening from the rung steps needs to be on the back side of the bed, back of the cottage, if you will. So let me show you what it looks like. It'll help put all this sort of into a thought process that makes a little bit more sense. I'll show you the sketches we're going to do, and then we'll get cutting out some wood, and we'll start to assemble this sucker. And I'll have to continue to see which of my tools I have here versus which of the ones are still back on the boat, and that's going to make a big difference in how simple some of this is to work with. I did get some of our bigger equipment, so I got our table saw and our bandsaw. I don't remember if I have the jigsaw, and I also don't think I have our orbital hand sander here, which means there's going to be a lot of hand sanding on this thing, which is going to suck. But we'll get it all done and we'll get it painted and everything else. So let's hit to it. Finish up with coffee first. So you can see what I mean on the side of the bed here, which is the front of the cottage. And then as we walk to the side, you can see how there's rung stairs that go up this to an opening where she climbs up into the bed. And what we're going to do here instead is have this be stairs that will start right here and work their way up to that far side. So we're going to have to get this turned around. So instead of that opening being on the left, it's over on the right-hand side, which will allow us to get the steps here. We think we're going to make them 18 inches wide.
And we'll have to move the whole cottage over in the room a little bit, but that way she can come right in her room, go to the right-hand side of the actual cottage, and just walk up a set of steps instead, and then be in her bed. And then in the spirit of simplicity, you can see here my rough calculations for the height and width of each step, what the outer edge would look like, high enough for a built-in handrail and a solid wall, and the top view of what the steps would look like. I'm thinking about putting a small cabinet door right in the outside of it so that there's access to the 2 shelves in there, and then she can store her items on that.
Alright, I'm back from Home Depot. I have 2 sheets of 1/2-inch MDF, bought some screws and a couple of jigsaw blades. I'm hoping that the people that moved out of this house, I think they left kind of an old jigsaw somewhere back here in the garage. I'm hoping to find it a little later. And I'm going to go ahead and start getting these pieces marked out and cut out. So let's get started. I think this calls for a bit of a time lapse. Well, I have my trusty plans for what they're worth, right? My hand sketches with some calculations on the dimensions of each step to make them consistent and the height I ultimately need. I went ahead and marked out not only what will become the frame and support for holding up the outside of each step, I also finished the outer wall, which will house sort of a protective wall and handrail that sits on the outside of those steps so that, you know, there's not a chance of the little one toppling down off of the side of the steps. Once I cut one of these out, the stair step piece, I will use that as a template to cut the other side, which will go up against the cottage, you know, if you will, the cottage, where the left side of the step will ultimately sit, and that's what will house that. That will provide the support for the steps that you'll actually step on, as well as the kick plates that run vertical. But I'm going to cut out the first one and use that as a template just to make sure everything is identical and the steps remain completely flat and parallel and all that good stuff. So I'm going to pull out my table saw and see if I can't get it set up here in the driveway and at least get these things cut. I've got the table saw set up and one sawhorse, and I tried to manhandle the 4x8 sheet over there. It's just a little too big. I'm going to ask Deb to give me a hand. The first one, I have to rip a 4x8 sheet of plywood down to 43 inches wide. It's a little tough to handle by myself, so she can help me guide it through the table saw. I'll get the 2 pieces. They'll be much more manageable at that point. Then I'll go ahead and get the inner step rail traced, and we'll be able to do the second step. So Deb just came out. We're about to cut this thing. Deb and Whitney just helped me cut those large pieces of wood. The challenge is I have I don't have a whole shop here, so I have essentially a portable table saw, and I am using 1/2-inch MDF, so it's fairly flexible, and I needed somebody to hold the sides of it so it didn't bow down and lift the center up over the blade. So each of the girls were on one end of it, holding up the ends while I was putting pressure down on each side of the blade and feeding it in. It's actually a little bit tough to feed a 4x8 sheet without getting a little bit wonky, so the cut wasn't bad, but on the long 83-inch long cut down one side, I wandered about 1/8 of an inch at the very bottom of it. I honestly don't think that's going to matter. That's going to be on the back of the unit, and there's going to be a back cover put over the top of it, and I just don't think you will see an 1/8 inch difference over 82 inches. There won't be any gaps or anything, so I just don't think you'll see it. But I'll check it out, and if you do, I will just use a 60 grit orbital palm sander and get it flat back to where it needs to be. So let me get a jigsaw and start working on cutting out the stair step design so I can trace that and cut the second set as well. I have both sets of risers cut out for the stairs, as well as the exterior side that has the higher side, kind of a wall and handrail. Thankfully, the people we bought the house from had this old Black & Decker taped up jigsaw, and it had a blade in it. The blade lasted until the very last cut, and then, of course, Murphy's Law, it broke.
Luckily, when I went to the store earlier, I did pick up a little 3-pack of blades. Not sure what kind would go in this if I could find this thing laying around here. I thought I'd seen it before, but luckily it fit, so we were able to finish off that cut. Yeah, so I think at this point, it's hot. I'm sweating all the way through. It feels like a good time to take a dip in the pool. I know the girls wanted to go swimming anyway, so I am going to go put on a bathing suit, jump in the pool, and hope that that doesn't kill all my motivation to come out here and start assembling the risers and whatnot. I closed up the table saw just because I'm going to be in the backyard. I put it in the garage here, but when I get ready to assemble this, I will need to cut the stair steps to the right width, as well as the, I think it's called I don't know what it's called, the vertical front of steps, that thing. I have to cut those as well. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's it. I might have to do a few, oh, I'll also have to cut some, I bought 1x4s of solid poplar, and I'm going to use those on the inside of the 1/2-inch MDF risers, mainly because so I'm going to have the, if this is the exterior risers, I'm going to put a piece of wood like this in here. Think about like this, a 1x4, so that when I screw down the step into it, it's actually going into this hardwood. So this will be screwed from the MDF into the hardwood, and the steps will be screwed down into the hardwood as well. I think that's going to be much more solid than relying on MDF to be the two items of the screws fastened together. So I'll have to cut some of those as well. And I could probably do those on the bandsaw or the table saw. I'll probably just do it on the table saw, just because it should theoretically give me a nice smoother cut when I'm cross-cutting, just because it's it's a 12 or 14-inch wide blade versus the fine 1/2-inch or 1/4-inch blade that I have in the bandsaw. Though I will say the bandsaw is ready to go. Hit the start button and it'll cut. Luckily I have a big wide mouth bandsaw, so I can get an 18-inch width cut on that, which is pretty unusual for a bandsaw, so that's good. Yeah, with that, I'm going to take a break for a little bit. I just took a nice refreshing dip in the pool, put my same old dirty clothes back on, but it feels so much better. It's a little bit cooler. I'm now going to start cutting some 1x4 strips. I'm also going to run some horizontal 1x4s along the insides of the steps underneath them, and those will be where I will add some MDF shelving so that there's storage underneath these steps as well. It's going to be a void of space. I may as well use it for storing toys and out-of-season clothes. I don't know why I'm saying out-of-season. I forgot I live here in the South now where it's warm year-round, so that's not an issue. I guess we'll say long pants for the winter time when it gets below 70 degrees. Yeah, so let's start getting some of these things measured and cut. Okay, so I took those long pieces that you just saw me cut on the saw, and I've got them setting right behind this, and you'll see what I'm going to do here. I have this tool that is, on one side it is a countersink bit, on the other side it is a screwdriver. So we'll go ahead and put this, set it to the countersink bit, and we're going to run 3 screws along the length of this, 2 near the front where the step is going to go, and then, well, I'll probably do 4, and then another 2 back here for where the shelf will go. You say I want the most strength here where we'll be standing on it as opposed to the Barbies and whatnot we'll be putting in the back for the little one. Very nice. So that's the first one done. We'll go ahead and get the rest of these knocked out. One set down, you can see this is what the actual steps will sit on, and then these are what's going to hold the shelves up that are going to be on the inside.
So yeah, let's end this video this week, and we'll see you all next week.